Hello, good evening and welcome to my humble model railway, Bedstead Junction. Now I've not posted for about a week or two, simply because I've been a bit under the weather, to be honest, not been too well. And tonight, obviously I got a bit of a froggy throat, as you probably just saw, but see if we can get through this video tonight. Now also I'm in agony with my knee. I'm like got a problem with my knees at the moment, or one of them, and been really difficult to get about. So I've only got around to making this video. I'll be showing you some of the new things that I bought, starting with some new rolling stock. Now I've been on the lookout for this rolling stock for some considerable time, and I found exactly what I was looking for a few days ago, or about a week ago now, time flying, and got this through, and I'll be showing this to you in due course. And tonight we're going to be thinking about the Hornby Railroad range, very often forgotten by some people. A lot of people obviously will tune in to see the latest model from a Cure scale, or from Rapido, or Hornby, or Bachmann, or these other wonderful manufacturers, and wonderful locomotives they are too. But I think sometimes it's nice to have a look at the more affordable end of the market, and that's what we'll be doing tonight. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera around in just a moment. I'll be looking at the first locomotive with my newly acquired carriages. Right, so we just get the first locomotive underway, and it's a Hornby Railroad locomotive. Just bear with me just a moment, it'll be coming around the corner quite shortly. And tonight we're looking at Tornado. It's a model I acquired a little while ago, and a very nice model it is too. The Hornby Railroad range, and certain things you won't get, which you might find on a premium model. Probably this one, no sprung buffers, no decorated cab. There are no pickups in the tender, but as you see on my railway, it doesn't seem to make too much difference. It's nice to have extra pickups in the tender, but one of the advantages of this locomotive, as it is that the tender and the locomotive can be separated without worrying about wires. Also, a couple of things I've noticed: the vents on top of the cab, they're sort of moulded off in a fixed open position. But we do get cab glazing with this particular one. Very lovely looking model, Tornado. As you see, and it's pulling 3 LNER Teak coaches, which I've only just acquired, and I've only just begun to run them on this layout. I'll have a look at them and see what they're all about. Now I managed to get 4 coaches. The other coach is another composite, which is in the other room. I managed to get 4 coaches, all boxed for about £50, which I think represents a bargain. And it goes to show what a bargain some of this railroad stuff can be. Okay, so what we've got here, we've got R4332 LNER Teak composite coach, 22357. Okay, so you can get a bit more light on that for us. Let's give it a go. Let's take another look. There we are, LNER Teak composite coach R4332 22357. We've got 2 of those coaches, and then we've got a brake coach, which is R4333 LNER Teak brake coach 4237. LNER Teak brake coach. Sorry if I'm making a few mistakes in this video tonight. I've not had much sleep lately with this new problem of mine. But I've been doing my best. I'm actually itching to get these coaches out onto the layout. I've been looking for some LNER Teak coaches for some time. Now I don't know whether these are prototypically correct or whatever. Being from the railroad range, they do appear to be a little bit shorter than some of the coaches I've got, but that does have its advantages in that I've only got very, very small sidings on this layout, and so they fit rather well. So certainly with a smaller layout, I would be, even if they weren't accurate in their length, I would be willing to sacrifice that in order to fit that onto my smaller layout. And that certainly may be that some of you out there with smaller layouts may find worth considering. Now, Tornado is a newly built actually locomotive. I mean, there is a rebuild of an Arthur Peppercorn A1 462. The original batch of Peppercorn A1s were built between 1948 and 1949. 49 were built. The last one being withdrawn in 1966. They had very, very short lives. None were preserved. But then there was a new build Tornado, which I believe was built in 2008. And that's basically what we're seeing now. It's named after the RAF leaving Tornado base, and in fact it's got the Tornado on the smoke deflectors. Very, very nice locomotive indeed. And it's quite imposing really, quite a large locomotive on the track. They're quite long. It proved to be a very, very nice runner. I bought this second hand. It did come, I don't like sending them on the back. This one was a runner, but had a very, very severe wobble. It wobble, wobble, wobble from side to side. And it ended up needing a new wheel set. And I don't think they were very expensive, only about £10 if I remember rightly. I managed to get a wheel set for. Once I'd replaced the wheel set, I'd given it a good clean underneath, got rid of all the carpet hairs, then this has proven to be a very, very nice locomotive. Of course, the LNER did not really come near to the West Country, which is local to me. That's why I tend to model the Great Western more than anything else. Very often, and then followed by the Midland and the Southern, all operated in the West Country, one capacity or another. The only LNER train that I know of that actually ran, and people could correct me on this, the Somerset and Dorset used to run a Exmouth to Cleethorpes service, and I think that was run partially by the LNER. But if anybody would correct me on that, if there are any other trains that you know of. But that's why really I ended up being mainly GWR. The LNER was always a fascination for me though, of course, because of the next locomotive which you're about to see quite shortly. Oh, and by the way, if you're trying to find one, and I did find this one difficult to get, if these get recommended by one of the popular YouTube channels, you tend to find people snap them up, and that may have been the case with this one. R3060 Tornado BR Class A1 from the Hornby Railroad range. And you can see by the red and yellow box is of the railroad range. So do not try to market it as anything other than a railroad locomotive. Very, very, very smooth runner. Let's watch it going through the country station in just a moment. There we go. Now these locomotives, and it's famous last words of course, both of these railroad locomotives are very, very good at negotiating points. Which puts some of the more expensive models to shame, okay? Really good runners, very nice over points, and in my experience, not bad slow speed runners either. Quite good control. There we go, we'll just slow right down. So we're over on the fire station there now. You can see that's running relatively slowly now. Very nice. Now I'm going to have to cheat a little bit on this running session tonight, and I'll show you why in just a moment. And we're going to run this locomotive into the station so we can have a closer look. So we'll just go around one more time, and then we'll stop at the signals up there and get ready to come into the main station. Right, so we'll just bring this one into the station and we'll just watch her going in. Tornado. Over the points, no problem. And into the station, no problem. Okay, so that's Tornado here. Now I've got two LNER locomotives more or less side by side here. Tornado and the famous Flying Scotsman. We'll just take a quick look at some of the details. So we'll just see if we can zoom in slightly on the smoke deflector there. Let's see if we get focused. There we go. I don't know if you can see that clearly, but that's Tornado with the squadron's insignia there. That's a modern built locomotive built in 2008. It's broken the 100 mile an hour speed. I think it's a record for a new build locomotive. In fact, it was one of the first new builds to come out. Of course, there have been one or two new builds since then. I think this one was completely built from scratch. Of course, Flying Scotsman actually made it into preservation. And we can talk about the history of Flying Scotsman in just a moment. Right, so we're going to have a quick change of points, and then we're going to bring Flying Scotsman out onto the track. You can see Flying Scotsman being given a good run as well. While we're here, yes, those vents, they're sort of moulded on the actual covers on there, and they're actually left in the open position. But we do have cab glazing, nice safety valves there. Nice detail. Of course, one thing to note as well, just for interest, double chimney for Tornado, single chimney for Flying Scotsman. And even though the buffers are metal, they're not sprung. Right, so we'll just see how elegantly we can leave the station with the wonderful Flying Scotsman. Let's just zoom out a little bit, making some focusing easier. That's it. Okie dokie. And again, for a railroad model, considering it's got no pickups in the tender, quite nice going over there. There we go. So you can see the handle of the points very, very well there. And we'll get underway. Right, so let's pull away from the signal, and away we go. Flying Scotsman. The first locomotive to have officially been recorded at over 100 miles per hour. Though some of us Great Western fans like to think City of Chora was first to break the 100 mile an hour barrier. But that was, I don't think that was ever officially recorded. Somebody did record it as going that speed. Well, there we are. Very, very nice run of this. Now, something which, this is a railroad model again, and it's putting 3 Pullman carriages. And again, something to bear in mind, the Pullman carriages also come from the railroad range. And they've got no lights inside or anything fancy like that, but they do have an interior detail. I think they're very, very nice coaches. And one thing which I liked about this, even though it's railroad, it came with this nice green box rather than the usual railroad box. With the additional detail on top. And we're looking at our 3086 LNER Class A1 Flying Scotsman number 4472. I think it's fair to say when you are, if you ask anyone to name a steam locomotive, they would say Flying Scotsman, wouldn't they? There we go. A 462 locomotive. Built in 1923. Designed by Sir Nigel Gresley. It was withdrawn in 1963. It went through a series of owners. Probably the most famous obviously was Sir Alan Pegler, and he actually took this locomotive to the United States. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this locomotive is almost bankrupted quite a number of people who took it on. I think William McAlpine was it, took it on after that. Various other people. It eventually ended up being bought by the National Railway Museum. And if you have a look at the locomotive in its present form, it looks different to this one here. It's got sort of smoke deflectors on and everything else. This would have been what the Flying Scotsman would have looked like when it first came out, and then they were then developed into A3s. Again, a very, very imposing looking model. Okay, it's not got such sophisticated lining. The lettering on the tender and the numbering on the locomotive cab, that's got no shadow detail. But really, I mean, for just the pure pleasure of running a locomotive, I think these are fine. And I've always said, Hornby do come under a lot of stick, don't they? But they're to be applauded for making these railroad models available for us. And again, there's been no attempt to disguise this as being anything other than a railway model. So you don't get any glowing fireboxes, smoke buffers or anything else like that. No sort of fancy details. But really, as far as a representation of the fine Scotsman going around the track, for many people this will be all you will need. Lovely. So you're putting 3 Pullman coaches. I've actually 2 brake coaches, because that's all that was available. Okay, so we'll have a look and see what we've got. So we've got 2 Pullman brake cars. That's at the front and the back. And there are 4313 Pullman brake car number 65. There we go. And then in the middle of the train we got our 4312 Pullman parlour car Rosemary. Okay, it's lovely. Just in case you fancy looking to get some of these models. And coming back to my Teak coaches, which are on the Tornado. Look at those 3 there. I managed to get 4 of these coaches, so I got 3 composites and 1 brake coach, all boxed for about £50. And if that's not a bargain, I don't know what is. Lovely, look at that. You can imagine these speeding on the way up to Scotland. Very, very sort of a great rivalry between the what was to become the LNER and the LMS. So what was racing up the East Coast main line, I was racing up the West Coast main line. It was always a question of trying to get the fastest trains to Scotland. And in fact, of course, it's the LNER that eventually took the crown with Mallard, an A4 locomotive that did 126 miles per hour, and that was the a record for steam that stood to this day. Okay, so I thought it'd be nice to have a little running session. I've not had a running session for over a fortnight now, due mainly to health issues, and I'm beginning to feel a little bit on the mend now, so I'm really, really glad to get my trains up and running again. This one I bought brand new. Okay, so whereas Tornado was second hand. One of the problems I had with Tornado, and it's something to watch out for some reason, one of the glazing pieces was missing. Now whether or not that was a manufacturing fault or the glazing piece fell out and they never put it back in again, but I had to buy a donor body to get the so I can have the cab glaze on both sides. That was on Tornado, so that was a couple of things I ended up needing. Some people may have said I should have sent Tornado back, but I'm one of these people that once I start to fix something, I find it hard to stop. And so I got this locomotive up and running as I wanted it to be. And to be fair, it was relatively inexpensive fixes to make there. Now there will be a new locomotive I'll be showing you quite shortly as well, which I bought. I have had it out of the box, okay, and made sure it runs. I thought it was best to do that, but really I've not had a running session of any kind whatsoever. That will be the subject of my next video. So what I say is, don't forget to, if you like this video, don't forget to press the like button, the thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe, it does help my channel. And you can ring the bell to get notifications of future videos. And of course, subscribing to my channel is absolutely free. You get to see more of my videos. I've got quite a large back catalogue of videos as well, going back a couple of years now. I think it's over 200 videos I've made now, I believe. Like I say, this was the opportunity for me to show you my new coaches. We'll get a bit more up close and personal view of them in a later video, because it is running a little bit late, and I'll be taking this railway down at some point this evening. Okay. And I also thank all those people who have subscribed to my channel, have been watching my channel, and all those people who made the most nice comments for me in that, and have given me hints and tips, pointing out little things where I might have been going a bit wrong and that sort of thing. Always glad to get any hints and tips from people. And on that note, I'll say thank you very, very, very much for watching. I should bid you farewell and good night.